Okay, we'll call the Thompson Planning District Board meeting together for March 13th, 2017 at 8:02. We have an agenda before us. Are there any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll need a motion to adopt the agenda that's been presented. Board Member Foley, Deputy Board Member Valentino, all in favor? Carried. We have the adoption of minutes, Thompson Planning District meeting, January 3rd, 2017. Resolution 2017-003, moved by Board Member Wong, seconded by Board Member Foley. Be resolved that the minutes of the Thompson Planning District meeting held in Council Chambers, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017 be adopted as circulated. All those in favor? It's carried. Do you have an issue? Oh, sorry. Okay. We're just going to stand down for a second as we call a board member. Hello, Mr. Mack.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Brent. How are you?
Good.
Good. Obviously, you're on speakerphone. We've called the Planning District meeting to order. We've approved the agenda and passed a resolution. We're now at resolution, and it includes a letter received from Dave Neufeld, Director of Community and Regional Planning Branch, in regards to the appointment of the resident administrator for the LGD of Mystery Lake and the member of the Thompson Planning District. So I'll read the resolution first, and then we'll go to the support documentation, which is the letter. Resolution 2017-066, moved by Board Member Deputy Valentino, seconded by Board Member Smook. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of Council. Oh, sorry, missed one. I just did that one.
That's supposed to actually read correspondence.
Sorry, it's not a resolution, it's correspondence. So we'll go directly to the letter. I'll read that first, and then we'll go to administration for comments. The letter is to Chairperson Mr. Fensky, appointment of the resident administrator for the LGD of Mystery Lake and member of the Thompson Planning District Board. I wish to inform you that Mr. Brett Mack, Community Planner, Thompson Regional Office, is appointed resident administrator for the local government district of Mystery Lake, the LGD, in respect of the following duties: participating as a member of the Thompson Planning District Board, 2, providing comments on Crown land lease requests and renewals, and 3, enacting and administrating the zoning bylaw for the LGD to implement the approved development plan. We have requested that Mr. Brett Mack contact Mr. Sepatelli to discuss his participating in the on the Planning District Board, and this is signed regards David Neufeld, Director. And so with that, I'll go to administration for support. Anything to add to the contents of the letter? Yep.
Nothing really. It's just that we have a good working relationship with Brett Mack. It's long-standing, and he's a significant asset to the board.
Thank you. Brett, anything to add?
No, I just look forward to continuing the working relationship that we currently have and getting some good things on the go. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you with the Thompson Planning District Board. Again, that concludes the agenda items that we have before us. I'd look for a motion to adjourn. Board Member Foley, Board Member Smook, all in favor? Carried. We stand adjourned at 8:06. Thank you very much. Thanks, Brad, for attending.
No problem at all. Thank you, guys.
Okay, now we're moving into the regular meeting of council for March 13th, called to order at 8:07. We have an agenda before us. Are there any changes to the agenda, Jenny?
Yes, 2 letters to be removed. A letter from Eileen Clark, item 6.4, and item 6.5, A second letter from Eileen Clark, Minister of Indigenous and Municipal Relations.
Okay, so council, please strike under correspondence 6.4 and 6.5, letters from Eileen Clark, Minister of Indigenous and Municipal Relations in regards to the approval of funding under the Public Transit Infrastructure Fund, and the second letter from the same minister in regards to the Clean Water and Wastewater Fund for Water Main Program Phase 2. With that, I need a motion to adopt the, to amend the agenda presented. Councillor Byer and Councillor Blake Ellis. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. We now need a motion to adopt the agenda as amended. Looking for Deputy Mayor Valentino, Councillor Smook. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. General inquiries. Are there any questions or comments from the general public? Please come forward, state your name, ask your question. Going once. Second time. Third and final, hearing none. Thank you very much. Next we have presentations and delegations. Dr. Bingham is not in attendance, but I do want to take this opportunity to recognize Dr. Bingham, our local veterinary doctor who has been in our community for over 40 years. And on behalf of council and administration, this is for Dr. Ken Bingham. We would like to extend our best wishes to Dr. Ken Bingham, who is moving to Saskatoon after 41 years of providing veterinary services to the residents of Thompson. Dr. Bingham moved to Thompson from Dauphin, Manitoba 3 years after he graduated veterinary school. Like many of us, he was here to get his start. Instead, he found a life. For over 4 decades, Dr. Bingham has loyally served the pets and residents of our community, working with patients as common as cats and dogs to more exotic cases like a grizzly bear found in northern Manitoba. Dr. Bingham was also an avid supporter of the Thompson Humane Society and provided his services to the society at a greatly reduced cost, if not for free. Dr. Bingham also has been a committed member of the Boreal Discovery Centre well before it changed its name from the Thompson Zoo. He was also a long time an active member of both the Thompson Golf Club and as well as the Burntwood Curling Club. We would like to congratulate Dr. Bingham for his distinguished career in the community and wish him all the best in his future in Saskatoon. We would also like to congratulate Dr. Bingham's protege and successor, Dr. Jen Nyhoff, for her new role as owner of the Thompson Veterinary Clinic. We are grateful to retain such talented veterinary staff here in Thompson, and we look forward to continued service at the level that Dr. Bingham had provided, and I'm sure that Dr. Nyhoff will provide the same level of service. So once again, congratulations to Dr. Ken Bingham on his retirement. Next we have the adoption of minutes, regular meeting of council, February 27, 2017. We have resolution 2017-066, moved by Deputy Mayor Valentino, second by Councillor Smook. Be resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held in Council Chambers, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba on Monday, February 27th, 2017 be adopted as circulated. We'll call for the question. All those in favor? Thank you. It's carried unanimously. Next we have correspondence. We have an email from Ferg Devons, a communication strategist of the Devons Network in regards to the Molson Canadian project in Thompson. This is sent to Mayor Fensky. I'm currently working with Molson Canadian on finding local community volunteers through leaders that have made leaders that have made a difference in communities from coast to coast to coast. Molson Canadian wants to celebrate their achievement by gifting them with a token of appreciation at some point during the Canada 150 year 2017. We are seeking 3 to 4 nominees from your community that demonstrate a passion for life, great Canadian character. There are those in your community that help to make a difference. These folks might be in the arts, sports, culture, recreation, or just leading with a passion for the community. They've tasked the Devons Network with this project. I'm a former Chief Corporate Affairs Officer at Molson Coors and have crisscrossed our country over the years. I'm hoping that you might be able to assist us with providing the names of 3 or 4 of these local community heroes and thought leaders for the brand to celebrate this year, or refer me to a contact in your community that can assist with finding these local community leaders to celebrate. We would also like to ensure that we have diversity of age, culture, ethnicity represented in our final roster to truly demonstrate a true reflection of our multicultural heritage. I look forward to hearing back from you at this email designated for this project. You can also reach me at 416-528-5961. When you're ready with your proposed nominees, we will have you provide a quick profile online. Thanks for your support. We look forward to celebrating your community and the leaders that helped to make it a great place that is in Canada. And that is from the Molson Canadian project for Canada 150. Comments, questions, Deputy Mayor Valentino?
Also sent to the Recreation and Community Services Committee for information, and also perhaps through our social media, can we put this out there, because I think we have some great volunteers in our community, and I think this is a real neat initiative that they're putting forward for the 150th.
Absolutely. So administration, please note those two means of communication. Councillor Smook? No? Councillor Byer, did you have your hand up? Okay, any other questions or comments? So we will follow up with this initiative through our communications officer and with the Recreation Department in regards to getting the word out and getting nominations from the community at large. And to the general public, if you yourself know of someone and want to nominate, please contact the Rec Department to provide that nomination and a background behind why you think that person should be nominated. And we will try to ensure that those nominations get forwarded to Molson's Canadian for their Canada 150 project. Thank you. Next, we have a letter from Conrad Jonason, President of the University College of the North, in regards to UCN's 2015-2020 strategic plan. I missed one. Oh, from Chris Bignell, sorry. An email from Chris Bignell, Executive Director of the Thompson Neighborhood Renewal Corp, in regards to the TNRC study exploring the social impact of discriminatory practices in Thompson, Manitoba. We have the email. I'm just looking. Good afternoon. This is to Mayor and Council. The Community of Thompson is a regional hub which provides services to a number of surrounding communities in northern Manitoba. Demographically, Thompson represents an intersection of diverse cultures and is unique in that it has the highest population per capita of First Nations residents in all of Canada. Anecdotally, we know that the divisions of race persist within the community. This is especially clear in reference to issues of homelessness. The following study was designed in order to develop a picture of negative attitudes which stigmatize the community's most vulnerable populations, and in turn address how prejudice contributes to the marginalization of homeless people within the city of Thompson. In examining the climate of public opinion on the topics of race and homelessness, recommendations have been provided to constructively reduce the impact of negative opinion and provide pathways for developing a healthy, cohesive community dynamic. The report, completed by the Thompson Neighborhood Renewal Corporation and funded by the Manitoba Research Alliance, can now be accessed on the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives at the link below, and it's mra-mb.ca/research/finder/. As part of the article's publication, the TNRC would like to invite local organizations to explore ways to address the issues outlined in the report through partnership and investment. The TNRC is currently looking for partners to work on developing a project which addresses the negative social stigma of Thompson's downtown region and its impact on the prevalence of crime in this area throughout community-designated art pieces. Targeted populations to work collaboratively, which would include marginalized and at-risk groups such as individuals with lived experiences, First Nations, youth, and those experiences multiple barriers to employment. Please contact us here at the TNRC if your organization is interested in contributing to this project or learning more about the report, respectively submitted by Chris Bignell, Executive Director, Thompson Neighborhood Renewal Corp. We'll go to administration. Anything to add? Council, Deputy Mayor Valentino.
Another thing with reading this is it sounds to me that Chris is asking us to share this story, this study also, because they're looking for partnership and groups to respond back. And if you've had the chance to read his email, it's also worthwhile to click on some of the links for some of those other stories, because they are completely humbling, and it also reaches out to us. I think that we aren't the only city that is dealing with some of these social issues, but I certainly encourage council, and for once we can get this story out there, to really have a read at it. And if we can help communicate this study, I hope that we can also.
Thank you. Councillor Ellis.
I'd like to congratulate Thompson Neighborhood Renewal Corporation on this. This has also been a published article, so it's quite an accomplishment. I think it also is allows the city of Thompson to look further into our homelessness situation. We've done that through the point and count studies that have been done, and I think this just adds to it. I think also I would recommend that it go to the Public Safety Committee as well as the Aboriginal Accord, so for further study, and so we can look into it as a city.
Comments from council? The direction will be to forward this to the Aboriginal Accord Committee for the next agenda, and also to the Public Safety Committee for their next agenda. If council will indulge, from my perspective as the mayor, the work that's being done by the TNRC in regards to this issue is well done, well researched. As Deputy Mayor Valentino has spoken to, there are a lot of stories that provide a real life perspective to the issues. And recently I've had the advantage of doing some traveling, and this is not a Thompson specific issue. This issue is across Canada and across North America. And so what we do with it locally is our initiatives, but this is an issue that is faced by many people with that are homeless, that have mental health issues, that have addiction issues across Canada and throughout North America. So we'll move forward with that if there's no other comments. Thank you. Next we have the UCN letter from Conrad Jonason, President of the University College of the North, in regards to UCN 2015-2020 strategic plan. This is addressed to dear His Worship Fensky. I am pleased to provide you a copy of UCN's 2020 strategic plan. I'm going to butcher this one. Kastachuan first cycle summary report, July 1st, 2015, July 30th, 2016. Please see enclosed an executive summary progress report. The strategic plan has provided UCN with focused direction and clear processes to enable UCN to better meet the needs of Northern and Aboriginal peoples. UCN has implemented a process that supports all the areas in the creation of annual plans utilizing facilitated sessions. The first cycle had 208 objectives identified towards achieving our plan. We are at the midpoint of our second cycle and look forward to continuing to share our progress and success. If you have questions, please contact Charlene Lafreniere, and there's an email address, or Devaney Saheko, an email address as well, or at 1-866-677-6450, and it's respectively submitted from Conrad Jonason, UCN President. Any questions or comments from administration? Council, any questions or comments? Received for information. Thank you. Next, we're moving to 6.6, the letter from Oswald Saw, Chief Executive Officer of Community Economic Development Fund, in regards to the 2016 annual report. Please find enclosed a copy of the 2016 annual report of Communities Economic Development Fund, CEDF. CEDF is a source of capital for viable businesses unable to secure financing on acceptable terms from conventional sources. The objective of CEDF is to encourage economic development in Northern Manitoba, to Aboriginal people in the province outside and in the province outside of the city of Winnipeg, and the commercial fishing industry throughout Manitoba. If you encounter members of your community who could be served by CEDF and might meet our criteria, please feel free to refer them to us. If you have any questions, you can contact us at our general email address, which is supplied, or at the phone numbers listed below. The annual report will also be posted on our website at www.cedf.mb.ca. This was respectfully submitted by Oswald Saw, Chief Executive Officer of CEDF. Administration, anything to add? Council, any questions or comments? We'll received for information. Thank you. Next, we have a letter from Wesley Penner, Manager of Hydraulic Operations, Department of Manitoba Hydro, in regards to the request by Manitoba Hydro for permission to deviate from the terms of interim license of the diversion of water from the Churchill River to the Nelson River and the impoundment of water on the Rat River and South Indian Lake dated May 11th, 1973. The letter reads, this is where we are. Request for Manitoba Hydro for permission to deviate from the terms of the interim license from the diversion of the water from the Churchill River to the Nelson River and to the impoundment of water on the Rat River and Southern Indian Lake dated May 11th, 1973. Manitoba Hydro requests permission to deviate from the terms of the Churchill River diversion interim license from 2017 0516 to 2018 0515 as outlined in the attachment. The water regime modifications requested are referred to as the Augmented Flow Program, bracket program, and are identical to those approved since 1986. The deviations will allow Manitoba Hydro to more effectively utilize the capacity of the Churchill River Diversion, CRD, for increased potential generation opportunities at the lower Nelson River stations. The actual implementation of the program is subject to the prevailing water conditions. Releases will be managed so that the approved water levels along the CRD are not violated. The operating terms shown in the final license request sent to you in 2009-0506 are consistent with this program. Our staff will continue to work with your water use licensing section on this matter. This request is submitted to your office for your review and approval by the Minister. Yours truly, Wesley Penner. And this went to Mr. Matthews, who is the Manager of Water Use Licensing, Manitoba Sustainable Development, and we received this for information from Manitoba Hydro. Administration, anything to add? Seeing nothing, Council, any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll receive for info. Thank you. We're now into resolutions. We are at 7.1, resolution to rescind resolution number 2017-053, grant in lieu negotiating team. The resolution 2017-067 is moved by Councillor Wong, second by Councillor Matchuk. Whereas on February 13, 2017, Council passed resolution number 2017-053, appointing Deputy Mayor Valentino, Councillor Byer, and Mayor Dennis Fensky to the grant in lieu negotiating team. And whereas on February 27, 2017, a written motion was brought forth by Councillor Wong to rescind resolution number 2017-053. Now therefore be resolved, the Council rescind resolution number 2017-053, being a resolution to appoint Deputy Mayor Valentino, Councillor Byer, and Mayor Fensky to the grant in lieu negotiating team. Administration, anything to add? Seeing nothing, we'll go to the mover, Councillor Wong.
Thank you, Walter. Back in February 13, 2017, when the resolution passed by majority council to appoint Mayor Fensky, Deputy Mayor Valentino, and Councillor Penny Byer to be the negotiation team. Ever since the resolution approved or passed by the majority, I've been approached by the public, at least 10. And some is retiree from Valley, and they also work in the very high-end position. They say, wow, this is what I look at it. The mayor is in conflicts of interest. Can you do something about it? And sure, I say I can have another two, which is make the motion to rescind. Hopefully I can get support. And same time, I did phone up the municipal affair to ask the question about the position, because back in 2012, Mayor Fensky, that time he was just a city councillor, he bowed out. He declared conflicts of interest of grant in lieu negotiation. So I asked this question to the municipal affairs, say, is that anything changed because he's the mayor now? Because I heard this reason by so many times by some councillor or say that he got elected as a mayor now, okay? So the municipal affair told me, position never changed. It's just a title change. So I'd like to ask Mr. Mayor, remember few meeting before I challenged you about your position. You said you are not in conflicts of interest based on the Municipal Act Section 4, 1B subsection 1. You fall into that section, and if you can find anybody in this across Canada, any law firm willing to interpret it, that section you are not in conflicts of interest, I will zip my lip for the rest of my term. I said that already. So until you provide me the document, I will still continuously calling you out for the conflicts of interest. And also another point I'd like to make, in one of the finance committee meeting, you came in and said, look, I would like to bow out for this. But because of one citizen rep say, I don't think you are in conflicts of interest, you change your mind. So it tell me, you are so easy to changing your mind and influenced by someone, so I cannot believe that you will make the best negotiation on behalf of Thompson, especially you negotiate with your boss. That's why I hope, and also I also asked another question to the municipal affair. They say, wow, we all officially elected, but we still have to obey the law. The law is not debatable. We can debate about bylaw, setting a speed zone, setting a playground. Yes, we can debate all we want, but law is stated very stone. We have to obey. So I leave it to the floor and see what kind of debate we're going to get. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Councilor Matichuk.
Quite similar to what Councillor Wong stated, the way I see it, as Valley being the employer of the mayor, I believe there's too much potential for influence by the employer. I also believe the citizens of Thompson will want to know whose interests are at hand. And just because it's perceived that there is a conflict of interest and the influence that is there, I believe that the mayor should not be on this team.
Questions or comments? Councilor Collada.
I'm going to support the motion to rescind. I think it's very difficult to be loyal to two parties on an opposite side, so thank you.
I'll just comment on behalf of my finance and administration committee. Because they are the ones that set forth this recommendation to have this committee in place, being myself, Councillor Beyer, and the mayor. So I support my finance and admin committee 100%. I had this brought back up for discussion at our meeting on March 6th, and the recommendation stays the same, that these three people continue to be the representation on the Grant and Lou negotiating team. I think that this is 28 months of the same topic about the conflict of interest from the mayor. And I've said before, I'm not commenting any more on it because it's just a never-ending seem to rescind resolutions about anything conflict of interest stuff. 20 months left to go, and as far as I'm concerned, the mayor is the mayor, and he should be on this Grant Lou negotiating team, and I support the Finance and Admin Committee in bringing forth this recommendation. And I believe I was approached by the public by about 25 people that they wanted him on it.
Other questions or comments? Councilor Beyer.
Understand Councillor Wong's where he's coming from and what he's saying, and I think the confusion probably comes from the fact that the mayor had at one time stepped back. I understand that, I get that, but Mayor Fenske is not the first mayor who's had to represent the city of Thompson to Valet when it was still Inco. Tom Farrell was an employee of Valet, and he was in management, so that was even, whereas Mayor Fenske is not in management, and Mayor Don McLean, they were both employees of what it was called Inco back then, and they both served on a number of teams where there was negotiation. So I think in terms of precedent, it's been shown in the past that it's not a conflict, but I certainly understand why you feel the way you do, because Mayor Fenske has in the past withdrawn himself from certain things. So I will have to support the Finance Committee. We discussed it as a committee. The precedent was set with other mayors, so I won't be able to support this motion.
You, Councilor Ellis.
I will be not supporting the rescinding this rescinding motion. I voted in favor of the three on the negotiating committee, and my vote hasn't changed. This is the fourth rescinding motion from our from the the last 4 meetings, right? So we seem to be voting on all these important issues twice, right? But my vote hasn't changed. You know, I believe the mayor has the best interest of the city of Thompson at heart. And at the end of the day, this negotiating committee is going to bring this agreement to this table, and we're going to vote on it as a council.
I was at the finance committee meeting where it was decided that it should go with yourself and the other 2 finance committee members as to be on the committee. And as you know, I'm always doing a straw poll and asking people what they think, and I never had anything negative said about you and the committee that we had chosen. Most people, to be perfectly truthful, said, I don't really care as long as the city gets the money. So I did not have any negative comments on this at this time, for a change.
Mr. Foley?
Just a couple comments. I mean, here we are again, because somebody didn't get their way in a vote, which we've actually gone through this process for this exact same purpose a couple of months ago when we were sending you to meet with the province and Vallée. The vote went in favor of you going, and then we had a motion to rescind that as well. So fact is, we voted the way that we did. I really don't care who's in the mayor position. The mayor is going to be part of this. So I've taken the person out of this equation. The mayor's head of council, and the head of council is going to be part of this discussion. And that's just the way it's going to be. Going furthermore into the fact that we are continuously coming at this table because when a vote doesn't go the way of 1 or 2 members, we want to rescind, not have any conversation with any other member of council, wait till Shaw's here, cameras rolling, and then kick up a big stink. It's embarrassing, and we need to start moving forward.
Comments? Call for the vote. Sorry? Yeah, I'll allow you.
I knew this was going to be happen, but I'll give it a try. I have facts. To me, it sounds like you're all above the law. Secondly, can anyone prove me the TRCC change it to VRCC with resolution? Can anybody bring it up? When are we approved the TRCC change it to VRCC with resolution?
I think you're speaking to the motion to rescind. You're speaking to the motion to rescind the resolution before us. Has no relation to the naming of the VRCC or the TRCC. Please continue.
Well, I done with my argument. And record the vote, please.
With that, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of the motion before us, please signify. Opposed? Voting in favor, it's defeated. Voted in favor, Councillor Wong, Councillor Collada, Councillor Radichuk. Voting opposed, Councillor Foley, Councillor Smook, Deputy Mayor Valentino, Councillor Beyer, Councillor Ellis, and Mayor Fenske. Thank you. Next, we have 7.2, a resolution to approve the Building Standards Committee. This is Resolution 2017-068, moved by Councillor Ellis, second by Councillor Beyer. Whereas Council has the occasional need for a Building Standards Committee to review appeals as outlined in Part 5 of the Building Safety and Property Standards Bylaw 1482-1994, as amended. Now therefore be it resolved, the Council appoint Mayor Fenske, Councillor Collada, Councillor Matichuk as members of the Development Review Committee to the Building Standards Committee. Administration, any support? Jen?
Yes, just housekeeping to appoint the members of the committee as per the organizational and procedural bylaw.
Thank you. Council, any questions or comments? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have 7.3, a resolution to approve the Grievance Committee. Resolution 2017-069, moved by Councillor Foley, second by Councillor Beyer. Whereas Council has the occasional need of the Grievance Committee to deal with Stage 3 grievances as set out in the collective bargaining agreements, United Steelworkers Local 8223-02, United Steelworkers Local 8223-12, and the Thompson Professional Firefighters Association, Local 2200. Now therefore be resolved, the council appoint Mayor Fenske, Councillor Collada, and Councillor Foley, members of the Human Resources Committee, as the Grievance Committee. Administration, anything to add? Jen?
Annual housekeeping to appoint the members of, as per the organizational procedure bylaw and the collective bargaining agreements.
Thank you, council. Any questions? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have 7.4, resolution to approve the taxi commission. Resolution 2017-070, moved by Councillor Ellis, seconded by Councillor Byer. Whereas council has the occasional need of a taxi commission to provide advice on taxi-related issues, as outlined in Part 10 of the Taxi Cab Bylaw 1920-2014. Now therefore be resolved, the council appoint Mayor Fenske, Councillor Ellis, Councillor Smook as members of the Public Safety Committee to the Taxi Commission. And be it further resolved, the council appoint Ms. Sharon Kent and Mr. Vikas Dewan as citizen representatives to the Taxi Commission. Administration, anything to add? Jen?
This is an annual housekeeping as per the organizational procedure bylaw, as well as the taxi cab bylaws.
Thank you. Council, anything to add? No questions? I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have 7.5, resolution to approve the waiver of the VRCC rental and setup fees for the Relay of Life, and we have a memo from the Director of Recreation, Parks and Culture. Resolution 2017-071, moved by Deputy Mayor Valentino, seconded by Councillor Byer. Whereas the organizing committee for the Relay of Life has requested that the City of Thompson waive the Valley Regional Community Center, VRCC, CA Nesbitt, and Gordon Beard facility rental and setup fees for the Relay for Life on April 29th and 30th, 2017. And whereas the Recreation and Community Services Committee reviewed the request and deems it to be in the best interest of the community and therefore are in agreement with the fees be waived, now therefore be resolved, the council waive the VRCC, CA Nesbitt, and Gordon Beard facility rental and setup fees for the Relay for Life at a cost not to exceed $5,265.35. Go to administration for support.
Nothing further.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Seeing none, we'll go for the call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next is 7.6, a resolution to waive the entertainment fee and mobile food license fee for the Kitty's Northern Preschool fundraising event. We have a memo from the license inspector and a letter from Kitty's Northern Preschool. Resolution 2017-072, moved by Councillor Smook, second by Councillor Ellis. Whereas Kitty's Northern Preschool will be hosting a community fundraising event called Touch a Truck on Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. And whereas Kitty's Northern Preschool is requesting that the entertainment fee, mobile food unit license, and the rental of 16 tables and 12 chairs be waived. And whereas the Public Safety Committee has reviewed the request and as the request meets the criteria set out in the waiving of fees policy, the committee is recommending the council approve the waiving of fees. Now therefore be resolved, the council waive the entertainment fee of $430 and the mobile food unit license fee of $150, the rental of 16 tables and 12 chairs at $64.86 for a total amount of fees to be waived of $657.86. Go to administration for support. Anything?
Nothing further. This has been a successful fundraiser.
Thank you. We'll go to the mover. Councillor Smook, anything to add? No. Council, any question? Councillor Foley.
Just that I'm in support of this, and just a side note that I've been against this entertainment fee for a very long time. It's one of those fees that if we were not to go ahead and go with the waiving of the fee, that this event would probably not happen, as they still have to acquire insurance, and insurance can be rather costly to hold the event. So with the insurance plus the entertainment fee and other fees that are added for a local nonprofit organization, it's definitely something that we should be looking at in the next fees and fine schedule to look at either reducing the local entertainment fee or removing it altogether.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have a resolution to declare 102.9 CHTM 2017 trade show a special event and a memo from the license inspector. Resolution 2017-073, moved by Deputy Mayor Valentino, seconded by Councillor Foley. Whereas the 102.9 CHTM 2017 trade show is scheduled for the weekend of May 5th, 6th, 7th, 2017 and will take place at the Valley Regional Community Center, the VRCC. And whereas the 102.9 CHTM has requested that this be declared a special event for the city of Thompson. Now therefore be resolved, the council declares the 102.9 CHTM 2016 trade show a special event for the city of Thompson. Administration, anything to add? Nothing? Go to the mover, Deputy Mayor Valentino, anything?
I'll be supporting this. I mean, this is a long-standing event now within our city, and to Sue and Tom O'Brien, they're great community members at CHTM, so I'll definitely be supporting this.
Council, any questions or comments? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have the resolution to approve the February check registers. Resolution 2017-074, moved by Deputy Mayor Valentino, second by Councillor Smook. Check register dated February 2017. General accounts payable checks totaling $3,033,112.62. Payroll dated February 3rd, 2017, $257,551.90. Payroll dated February 17, 2017, $257,100 for a subtotal of $514,651.90 for a grand total of $3,547,764.52. The accounts contained in this check register have been reviewed by the members of the Finance and Administration Committee. Administration, anything to add? Mover, Deputy Mayor Valentino, anything to add?
Just that it was March 6th at Finance and Admin Committee that we reviewed these.
Council, any questions or comments? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have 7.9, a resolution to approve the rescheduled Northern Tourism Strategic Planning Session and an email from Northern Tourism Strategic Planning Session. Resolution 2017-075, moved by Deputy Mayor Valentino, second by Councillor Foley. Whereas February 27, 2017, Council passed resolution number 2017-063, approving the attendance of Councillor Collada, Councillor Smook, and Councillor Byer at the Northern Tourism Summit in the Pas, Manitoba on March 8, 2017. And whereas due to blizzard conditions, the Northern Tourism Summit was cancelled and rescheduled to April 10th, 2017. Now therefore be resolved, the Council approve the attendance of Councillor Byer, Councillor Smook, Councillor Collada at the Northern Tourism Summit in the Pas, Manitoba, rescheduled for April 10th, 2017. And be it further resolved, the attendance at this event be borne under the terms and conditions of bylaw 1897-2013. Administration, anything to add? Matt?
I'll be attending this as well.
Thank you. Councillor, Deputy Mayor Valentino, anything to add? That's over.
I'm just glad that this was rescheduled because you ladies going on the blizzard wouldn't have been good. But in saying that, I hope you finally get to go because I think this has been rescheduled numerous times. So do look forward to the report whenever you guys have this.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next is Resolution 710, a resolution to approve the deficit for the 2018 PowerSmart Winter Games Thompson. This is Resolution 2017-076, moved by Councillor Smook, second by Deputy Mayor Valentino. Whereas on January 16, 2017, Council passes Resolution number 2017-026, agreeing to host the 2018 PowerSmart Manitoba Winter Games to be held March 4th to the 10th, 2018. And whereas Sport Manitoba requires entering into a multi-party agreement with the City of Thompson and the local host society detailing the terms and conditions and responsibilities. And whereas the City of Thompson will be responsible for covering a cost shortfall in the event of a deficit in hosting the 2018 PowerSmart Manitoba Games, now therefore be resolved that the City of Thompson agrees to cover any cost shortfall in the event of the deficit in hosting the 2018 PowerSmart Manitoba Winter Games. Administration, anything to add? Seeing nothing, we'll go to the mover, Councillor Smook, anything to add?
Confident there won't be a deficit at these games based on our experience with our own in '94 and anything else that the City of Thompson goes for. And the past few games of the Sports Manitoba, I'm very confident that this will actually bring some dollars to the coffers of Thompson. Thank you.
Councillor Wong?
Thank you, Worship. Why is it approved the deficit? Is there some sort of how in case?
The agreement between Sport Manitoba, the City of Thompson, and the host society is a standard practice in games. It ensures the Manitoba games will happen without incurring a deficit. If so, the host community, which is the City of Thompson, would agree beforehand to cover that deficit. In the history of the games, there's never been a deficit, but it is a standard protocol that Sport Manitoba requires the city of Thompson pass the resolution, as they have asked every other community that's hosted the games to pass a similar resolution to cover any deficits as covered. Deputy Mayor Valentino?
I just wanted to say I'll be definitely supporting this, and in the past there hasn't been deficits from hosting the games, and I believe with Councillor Smook, and I am completely confident that not only the committee that's in place and chairing these games, but our city as a whole and all of us as community members and our citizens will ensure that we won't have a deficit, and I believe it will be a very, very huge success.
Any other, Councillor Claudio?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to know what types of situations would cause a deficit. Personally, I'm concerned about us coming up with the number of volunteers that we require, and I'm wondering why we're passing a resolution excuse me, a year in advance. That seems like it seems as though we shouldn't have to be passing that resolution this early in the process. So if you can enlighten me on those questions.
As Councillor Smook has spoken recently and previously, and you were around in 1994 as a councillor, this process was followed exactly the same way, a year in advance, prior to entering into the agreement with Sport Manitoba and the host society. That resolution came to council and was passed as well. Situations where deficits may occur, for instance, if there are, knock on wood, but the dates for next year's games are the dates that we had for the blizzard. And so I just want to state that sunk costs may have occurred at that point where they weren't recoverable, and the games may have been canceled. I'm thinking that's an extreme example, that had the games happened last week, I'm sure that they would have been canceled or deferred, and there may have been costs that were not recoverable, and in that extreme case, the city of Thompson would probably have to cover if they were proven to be deficit numbers. So, but as I stated earlier, in the history of the games, there's never been a deficit incurred by the host society, and so I'm quite comfortable that, as Deputy Mayor Valentino's pointed out, the volunteers will not be an issue. We have had people calling on a regular basis. We were well in excess of what we needed the last time, and I'm confident that we will be this time going around. Any other questions or comments from council? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. That concludes the resolutions. We will now go to the mayor's report. And this is for activities from February 28th to March 13th. During the reading month, I met with Jen Lowen's grade 4 class at Brentwood School to read 3 short stories, along with city councillors. Also attended the reading month events as well. Also announced or attended the announcement with councillors and staff, the official announcement of the 2018 PowerSmart Winter Games on February 28th, which will be held in Thompson March 4th to the 11th, 2018. Along with City Council members and City Manager Gary Sepatelli, we attended the Winter Games flag raising on March 1st. A budget meeting with Council administration was held on March 2nd. I attended the PDAC convention in Toronto from March 6th to March 8th. This is the largest prospector and developers conference in Canada for sure, if not North America. 5,600 attendees, split between investors in the mining industry and suppliers of mining components, as well as communities who are in the mining sector from that perspective. Very well attended. Lots of information to gather, awareness to point out there. I attended to the Manitoba booth where they were reaffirming the recent announcement that in the significant movement of Manitoba from, I believe it was either 18th or 19th in the perspective or most enticing places to invest in mining, to the second place, slightly behind Saskatchewan. So a great move by the province of Manitoba in regards to the potential for mining investment in our province. I also attended today the Provincial Municipal Justice Advisory Committee this morning. Met with the Thompson 2020 conference calls. They continue, and we will have a conference call tomorrow to continue with that process. Various committee meetings were held: Development Review, Public Works and Infrastructure, Finance and Administration, and Public Safety. There were no proclamations at this time. I just want to refer back before I go to Council for their reports in regards to the recent events last week in regards to the blizzard. It brings to point, first off, I want to congratulate the community at large for absolutely phenomenal response led by our CAO, Gary Sapatelli, and our staff and all of our partners, our fire paramedics and department, the RCMP, Manitoba Hydro, Manitoba Highways, all of the contractors in town that are involved with snow removal and the movement of snow. Anybody that helped out, a neighbor, a friend, a family member, in regards to ensuring that they were safe, ensuring that they needed what they got what they needed, that no one was left unattended. And again, I want to congratulate the community at large for the significant response. It really, as I said last week on the radio show, it really showed the spirit of Thompson. It came to the forefront, and I'm extremely proud and have been over since the blizzard, and actually during the blizzard, been responding to people from outside of our community saying how did we do it and what was the response. And I very vehemently support the efforts of everyone in this community. We all, whether we like it or not, we all now have a "we survived" moment from history. For my mom, it was 1965. For me, it was 1974. For my daughter, it will be 2017. And as we all experienced 2017. But it has happened in the past, and the response has been the same, that we reached out, and there's stories. And I just want to talk about one of the initiatives that we'll be following up with as the City of Thompson, working with our communications officer and our communications committee, in that as part of our Facebook page, we will encourage people to submit pictures and stories, anecdotal stories of how they survived 2017 blizzard, so that we can reflect and show each other that we are a very caring community, and that when things are thrown at us out of a blizzard condition, that the best comes out in everyone. And so I want to again congratulate the community at large, and that brings me back to my last point, in that on an individual basis, it raises the issue: do we have an emergency plan? The City of Thompson has an emergency plan. Organizations within the community have emergency plan. The question is, do you as an individual or family have an emergency plan? Can you survive 72 hours in an emergency? Traveling in pairs, snowmobiling and ATVs. We saw on the news the two incidences where people thought they could outrun the storm and actually got caught up in it with the dog sledders and two vehicles that were caught north of our community. And so the safe practice of and we are an outdoor community, but when you are snowmobiling and ATVing, ensuring that someone knows where you're going, someone knows when you'll be back, and if at all possible, travel in pairs or larger groups, so that if something does happen, you have some assistance. And that's the last point, is make a travel plan. And it's as easy as making a travel plan to travel to Winnipeg. Let someone know you're leaving the community. Let someone know that you've arrived in Winnipeg or your destination, to ensure that we live in northern Manitoba. There are many ways to go south and west, and so that we need to ensure that we are keeping ourselves safe, but also putting those that respond to a situation not at risk as well for needless thoughts where someone thinks someone missing because they didn't call in, and we dispatch resources. So just make sure the point being is, do you have an emergency plan for you and your family, not only in a blizzard but in other situations, but the most recent one in the blizzard? Can you survive 3 days, 72 hours on your own with what you have for resources? So with that, I'll go to council to reflect on any activities over February 28th to March 13th. Anybody? Councillor Beyer.
No activities. I would just like to add some personal thanks to Councillor Smook's husband, Nick, who drove in from McCready Campground to my house on his snowmobile to pick me up, to take me out to the horse stables so that I could feed my horses and horses of 3 other people, then brought me back into town to the Boreal Discovery Center so we could feed that deer. I now have an appreciation as to why snowmobilers prefer groomed trails, because the snow was really deep and it was very hard going. That kind of commitment, seeing young kids shoveling people's driveways or walkways and stuff was great. But I think on a personal level, that was to me, that was just goes way beyond helping out. And so I would just like to put that out there as a personal thank you, and that'll be one of the Facebook things.
Thank you.
Oh, and thank you, Colleen, for offering him.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Valentino.
On March the 8th, I was to attend the International Women's Day event, but it was canceled, and I'm not sure if it was rescheduled. So if somebody does know if the date is to be rescheduled, please let us know, or let Casper know so we can communicate that. And March 8th, the morning of the blizzard, I gave a message to the citizens on behalf of the mayor's office on where we're at, and asking the citizens to stay inside for that day. And I also would just like to personally thank our CAO, City Manager Gary Sepatelli, also, as I was a part of the communication process, and the professionalism with his departments was very well communicated between yourselves and myself also. So I would like to thank him also.
Anybody else? Councillor Smoke.
On March 4th, I gave greetings at the 17th Annual Tribal Days at VRCC. Got to watch a couple of hockey games that were pretty heated there, and the rivalry was really great. Lots of people out. It was really great to see. And as for snowmobiling, my husband rescued the last stranded snowmobile yesterday and slept half the day today. He had 5 of them to rescue, but it's very important that you don't travel on your own snowmobiling. He actually went to Snow Lake Monday and traveled home on Tuesday in the blizzard, so it took 11 hours from Snow Lake, but there was 2 of them. They did leave a snowmobile stranded on the railway tracks, which they went back on Friday and got, and they rode the last 25 miles on the highway to get back to town in order to see. So it's very important to that the snowmobiler park, because we received numerous calls to go out and offer help, but most people either had left messages to where they were going, or they had enough cell service to let people know. So that's just very important communication.
Anybody else? Seeing none, a motion to adjourn. Councillor Foley, Councillor Smook, all those in favor? Carried. We stand adjourned. Thank you. Have a good evening.